So I am a big Blade Runner fan. Both of the movies really changed the way I think about films and filmmaking, and I think they tell really important, crazy, exhilarating, fun, mysterious stories. More than that though, I think, and I'm saying that as a fact, that they are visually flawless, and I think that's what most people really know them for. Both movies are beautiful and very confusing, and to me, they are kind of their own genre because they are that beautiful and that confusing. There are some great videos already out on YouTube that give much more digestible analyses than I'd ever be able to regarding the plot of the movies. So, in this video, I'm really just going to focus on the visual elements of Blade Runner 2049 that aids in telling the story, and maybe I'll make a video about the original in the future, who knows, but today we are all in on 2049. So I think for all movie viewers, it can be very easy to get caught up in the story and kind of zone out and forget what you're really seeing on screen, if that makes sense. Like in the Avengers movies, for example, you're never really paying attention to the room that they're all standing in because you have to focus so much on what the characters are doing and saying because that's what's important. Everything is very fast paced, and if you don't really pay attention, you miss something. Well, in 2049, you're kind of forced to do the opposite. A lot of the movie is generally quiet and the main protagonist really doesn't speak that much, and even though he eventually becomes emotional, he tries to hide it a lot of the time. Because of this, viewers are forced to rely on visual cues to indicate what's going on in the story, and I think that that's very interesting, and so I want to talk about it. I first want to talk about color because it's probably the most obvious, and you might even argue, important relationship we can observe. The most important, to me, color in Blade Runner 2049 is yellow. There's honestly a lot of discussion about its meaning still, considering it's never been really explicitly stated or explained or described by any of the movie's creators, just kind of quick little, I don't know, it's all very subjective, I think. But anyways, most fans tend to state that yellow signifies truth, progress, hope, enlightenment, and information. Anytime the color yellow is shown on screen, Kay is making some sort of progress in his investigation. For example, Sapper's house. That's where Kay's story really begins. The flower in the ground over the crate with Rachel's bones. It was yellow. The interior of Wallace Corporations is literally all yellow. This place is a hub of information for Kay. Joy wears a yellow jacket when Kay learns about the twin DNA scandal thing, and yellow is really just the guiding color for the story. And although it may not be obvious the first time you watch it, it becomes a really useful tool next time around to signify important scenes and events. Another kind of marker color like yellow in this film is orange. It's not really shown at all until Kay arrives to Vegas. In the film, orange represents exploration and danger. In the scene where Kay arrives to Vegas, yellow really could have been used because his arriving there was technically just another check mark on the to-do list for the investigation. However, Vegas truly brought mystery. Kay didn't know what he was walking into at all, and so he had to exercise a lot of caution. In general, orange is often associated with transformation, so it's very fitting that this marked a change in scenery, and I believe even the transition from Act 2 to Act 3 in the film. But I think it is sort of lucky that yellow and orange are so similar because it gave the movie the ability to mark a big change in the story so seamlessly without making it entirely obvious, and it still provided for some ambiguity. So blue and green are pretty important colors too. Anytime joy is shown on screen, there's some hint of blue or green in the frame, where the uses of yellow and orange are more like markers and help point out important scenes and discoveries. Blue and green are used much more in terms of their connotative meanings. For example, green is a color that usually indicates life and nature, while green is kind of Joy's signature color and she's not alive. However, she is basically the only form of life in Kay's world. He himself is replicant and craves that human experience and emotion, so it's ironic that a lifeless form is able to provide that to Kay and helps support the mystery in defining life and existence that is an important aspect of Blade Runner. Of course, when we first meet Anna Stelline, she is creating a memory of a lush green forest. Although we don't know it yet as viewers, seeing Anna for the first time being immersed in a scene where the environment is more natural and earthy than any other place we've seen done so far is fitting, considering she is the actual child of Rachel and Deckard and is the representation of this sort of miracle form of life. Finally, I want to touch on the use of white and gray in the film, and these are the colors, the neutral tones that I think can be the most confusing to understand and complicated to explain, so bear with me here. I'm also curious to hear your thoughts on the meaning of white and gray in the film. So, okay. When the film begins, there is little color. We see Kay wearing neutral tones, and for the first few scenes, he is basically just surrounded by white and gray scenery. And aside from that, there are a couple pops of yellow, but I've talked about that because they were all in Sapper's area. And these colors depict a very sad, lonely world, and Kay seems to fit right into it. He doesn't seem happy or sad and just sort of does what he's told and follows orders and accepts his place in society, even though it's obvious that he's not exactly pleased with it. And I think that white represents loneliness and solitude in the film. For example, Love. For the majority of the film, she wears white clothing. Upon some careful analysis of her character, I believe that she is lonely, and you guys might not agree with me on this, but I think that Love, along with a lot of other replicants, is confused and troubled by her own existence, and so we see that loneliness through her actions. And Esteline's entire existence is white. She wears white, she's in a white building, and it's usually snowing where she lives, and the sky is always gray. She literally talks to Kay about how lonely she is. She has nothing but her own thoughts. I mean, she's literally trapped inside of a glass dome. And at the end of the film, Kay, of course, he lies down in front of Stelline's office. And although he's done something good in helping reunite Deckard and Anna, he's still heartbroken because he confirmed that he was nothing more than another replicant. And so he's left off in those same kind of feelings of loneliness that we see at the beginning of the film. So, color is a very important aspect to Blade Runner. When the film begins, it's bleak and lacks color and vibrance, and as the story begins and Kay dives deeper into his investigation, but more importantly, beliefs that he's more involved in the story than he initially thought, the movie is littered with bright colors and life. By the end of the film, color is gone again, and so is Kay's hope. I think it's very interesting to see how much color is able to tell about a story and about the characters and how they're feeling, and I just really appreciate how it was done in this film. Well, that is pretty much it for this video. I'm a little nervous putting this one out because so much of this is based on opinion, and I'm sure I could totally be wrong or missing something with all of this, but this was more of a guide on how I view the movie, and you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and say it that I think I'm headed in the right direction on this stuff. I hope you enjoyed this video, and let me know your thoughts in the comments below, because like I said, I feel like a lot of this is based on, personal interpretation. So I'd love to hear your thoughts. And, I mentioned I might make a video on the original Blade Runner in the future. I haven't really planned anything for it yet, so let me know if you'd like to see anything on that movie in particular. If you want to find me on other platforms, follow my Instagram. That's probably the best place to find me. I'm not that active on other forms of social media. So my handle is on the screen right now. It's Trin808, and the link will also be in the description box of this video. So head over there if you want to. As always, thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Hit the bell notification so you guys are notified whenever I upload, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!
Sweet baby rays. Baby rays. Sweet baby rays. Baby rays. Baby rays. Baby rays.